all the competition pages were. And I just remember thinking like, this is so cool. I'm going to do this someday. And then just I met my husband while I was in high school. I've known him since I was 17 years old. So went to college, got married, had kids, and life just kind of took a, different direction. And then after I had my daughter, I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. So I actually started competing in bikini, and just kind of felt like that wasn't my fit. I was very, very skinny. My elbow used to be bigger than my bicep. And I just wanted to put on more muscle. I liked the look of figure. This was before wellness came into play. So I hopped into figure, and I'm very, very comfortable there. I'm very comfortable with the muscularity size. And then the posing and just the whole package of figure. I really like it.
Yeah, I think everybody find a division that works for them. Like you start out in bikini, and
Yeah.
then you wanted to go up to a division that mostly fit your aesthetic for muscle.
Yeah.
I know quite a few ladies who started out back in the day when bodybuilding for women started out. There was only women's bodybuilding. Then
Yeah.
you had divisions like fitness and figure came along. Bikini, it was more brought into the sport and getting involved like the others. Like you look at physique, it's kind of like an evolution of women's bodybuilding. You have
Yeah.
wellness that's brought in. I think each competitor looks for the division that works with their aesthetics and also their physique overall.
Yeah. That definitely makes it a lot easier. Even with the new fit model division, I just kicked off. I'm on week 2 of a new boot camp at my gym right now. And through that, I've had 2 different women come up to me and they're like, I want to compete. I want to try fit model. And I think it's just a really good division for a lot of these women that may have been, have a history of watching bodybuilding and just kind of, middle age. That's my niche of client. And they just, they have a lot of things going career wise, family wise, marriage wise. And so that fit model, I think, is very attractive to a lot of women getting, entering into the sport and at that phase of their life. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Well, I have a personal stance on fit model. Excuse me. I think it's a basic division. I have quite a few ladies told me that. I get why they're doing it because they want to bring more attention in. But here's why I'm seeing it like from this point. It's going to hurt divisions like women's bodybuilding and also physique because it might push them out. Just saw that you're a pro. It's not going to. Maybe it's not a thing. It's possible. I'm just going to say I'm a bit of a pessimist. Yet also I'm a realist, and I have nothing against the competitors in that division. Nothing against them. I interviewed a couple ladies at Fit Model. One lady I know who I met her when I was in Tampa a while back. She's got a pro card this past November. But again, it's like any other division. It's going to evolve.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go back to bikini. Those women are going to be just about like these women now in the next few years.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. 100%. I completely agree with you. It's going to evolve. I don't know. Like I think I like it. Just like it's not my division or anything, but just in the world of bodybuilding in general, I think it's been very male dominated, and it still is. And which, is fine. It's logical. Right. Mm-hmm. But I think, just to have like a general division, to have more divisions, I don't think that that's a bad thing, especially in this day and age where you have so much social media attention. There really is a spot for everybody. And it's not that one's, superior or better or, than another one. I think it's just kind of like in general in life with anything is it gives people a home. It gives people a space. It gives people, because some people just don't have the genetics for women's bodybuilding or physique or wellness even. You have to have that dominant lower half. And I mean, you can do squats all day long, and some people just aren't going to, develop where they need to develop to be competitive in that specific division. And then other women, they're that Kim K and they got it. So I mean, there's always pros and cons with everything, but like I said, I think in this day and age, I think with social media and everybody's kind of looking for a home and a spot and a space. Um, I mean, I know they've kind of started paring back some of the women's bodybuilding shows I saw in 2025, which was a little bit disappointing. I think even in the Arnold, like they don't have even figure at this point. So, I mean, it's definitely, going through a transition, and unfortunately, I think it's also one of those things where it's always follow the money. Where are they seeing the most people, like the most registrations? So I don't know. I don't have any answers or solutions. I just hope they keep all of the divisions and keep, options and opportunities open for everybody.
Yeah, because it's fair. Because you know what? Think about it. Again, not every woman's going to be a fit model type. Not every woman's going to be
No.
figure type. Some women, after a while, evolve and grow.
Yeah.
And you need a place to go. I've talked to some of these. I'm looking at women in physique that can go women's bodybuilding, but
Yeah.
when there's so few opportunities, like New York Pro's not going to have women's bodybuilding this year. There were some
Okay.
shows that dropped it from there.
Yeah.
Actually, one show I think about I was always supporting was the Vancouver Pro Island. They're not going to even have any of the pro divisions for women, and that was
Okay.
physique, women's bodybuilding, and wellness. And yeah, I understand that everybody wants to go where they can feel like they have more opportunities. Like sponsorships a lot easier, especially when it comes to the men. And I say this about the men. The guys are, if you know anything about the pimping game, the guys are the bottom bitch of the sport because they get more attention, they get more money. You can see guys like Derek Lumford. He did both the Olympia and the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. The guy
Yeah.
walks away with pretty much over $1 million. But
Right. Right.
one of my favorite person who deserves a lot more, and this lady that you also know, she is this is I think a lady you hang out with quite often, and that is the lovely Miss. Oh, wait a minute, you had her in. Yeah, wait a minute. I thought I had her here somewhere. Wait
Yes.
a minute.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Andrea Shaw.
Yes.
I love her.
I do too.
I because I know you, Abby, and Ashley. Y'all know her very well.
Yeah.
I just think she's so lovely. I know I act like I act like a dweeb when I talk about her because I think she's so amazing. Because it goes back to the fact is that opportunity for any competitor to find a place they can fit in best as they evolve. Like when your first competition, what was that like for you? Especially coming from an athletic background, your history of your father. What was that like for you the first time on stage?
When I was in bikini.
Either one of them, bikini and we all switched to figure.
Okay. I mean, I guess I just really remember like the first time I was on stage in bikini because it was like I was so scared and I was just like, what are you doing? You're going to go out on a stage in a bikini. And I'm like, just I almost didn't even want to do it. But I'd worked so hard and, just was like, you're going out there and you're going to do this. And I actually came in second. And I didn't do too bad relative to who was up there. It was a smaller show, like maybe 6 girls or something in my division. But I just remember my coach, Peggy Sue Barber, she was just like, you made top 5, and she was just ecstatic. And I remember her taking me. We went to eat somewhere and she was like telling me what I was allowed to eat. And this is the first time I'm going through all of this, this process. And I really had no idea what I was doing or, anything. So I'm just listening to her like, okay, whatever. And it was definitely very eye-opening. And I think a lot of times people have like I had an idea of what bodybuilding was and what it was to compete. But then when I actually did it, it was just like a completely different experience than what I thought it was going to be, in a good way, not necessarily in a bad way. But it's a lifestyle. And there's just a lot of dynamic components to it. Especially I think it gets easier the longer that you're in it. I've known a lot of people that just compete one time and they're overwhelmed and they're just like, I will never do that ever again. Um, and so, I mean, it's just there's a lot of moving pieces all the time with it, and like you said, you evolve and you change and you grow, and maybe I started out in bikini, switched over to figure, so you just kind of find your spot. It's a journey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this for I'm conversation with you ladies. It's a journey for y'all. It's not like, as one lady put it to me like this, George. It's not a race. It's a marathon.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with that. Yeah.
Because you really want the time to grow and develop. You don't want to rush it. I see some competitors who are young competitors who want everything quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is you can get burned out easily if you do it that way. So folks, while we get Melissa here, we're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into social media for a bit. If you want to follow her, the links are in this in the live of the description. But guys, and I tell you this, guys, is because Melissa, a lot of guys who watch my stuff, they love you, buff beautiful women. They love you, get you excited, and you're a pretty lady too, Melissa.
Oh,
But guys, she has kids. She got a husband. No weird stuff. I don't want to hear nobody.
although I did get something very odd the other day.
What?
So I was invited to be on the news for my gym, and so I walk into the gym on Monday, grab the mail, and I have a fan in prison. So I've been telling everybody, I'm like, I got my first fan mail. And so then they, want to know more about it. And they're just like, so they're reading it. It's like 3 pages long. He's sitting there telling me about like how his day and like how he works out every single day and his bicep routine and all these things. And so I actually shared it with Ashley, and her response was hilarious. She goes, I'm just jealous of him. He gets to plan his whole day around his workouts.
He's probably saying like he's like the guy thing and say, I want to tell you something before, Melissa. I like you and I want you. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. This is wild. I can't wait. I can't wait. So folks, we're gonna jump in here too. If you want to check her out, be respectful. Reach out in genuine interest, guys, and support these ladies. Because like I said again, this is a tough sport, and a lot of ladies, these deserve respect. So here we are, and we're going to in her social media for a bit. And this is from the this is from the universe. And
Yep.
wow, you look pretty good. I mean,
Thanks.
what was the critique from the judges? I mean,
They wanted my suit straps higher on my hips. And then I think more V taper, so a little bit wider back. And I think posing just needs to be more natural. Other than that, everything was pretty good.
yeah, you look pretty good. I mean, like I said again, I'm just going by what I see from here. Again, yeah, they want you to be more fuller in your shoulders, more width. The back is very important, especially when you look into figure division, because that's the thing that really separates you from the other divisions compared to like physique or bodybuilding. But it can make or break how you do what it shows. And this is also from the universe. This was from last year.
Like, so 2024.
Mm-hmm. Can you believe it's almost 2 years ago?
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. What was that feeling for you being up there, especially probably so close to possibly getting your pro card?
Yeah, I'm always like 2 spots away. So, I mean, and those are always deep classes. Mine, for whatever reason, my height, being 5'3", I'm always in figures open C. And it's just always a stacked class. Like, I mean, there's always like 17 girls up there. And they'll have to bring us out in rounds. So it's just a very highly competitive division and spot. And I don't, the longer that I do it, the more confidence that I have in it, and the more comfortable I'm getting. So it's just when you walk on stage, all those lights just blind you to where you really can't, like, it almost feels like you just black out because you just can't see anything at all. So it's a lot of adrenaline, and you kind of have this high where it's like, I made it, I did it. because like that 6 weeks leading up to show, you're just so carb deprived, your brain's not working, you're just hungry as heck. And but you just keep going every single day, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna, I got 21 days, I have 20 days as you're on this countdown. And when you finally get up there, it's just this huge feeling of achievement that I did it, I accomplished it. And knowing that I came in better than I did the time before, I think that that's always, very important too. I kind of changed up so I don't know if you know who Shelby Starnes is.
Most definitely know Mr. Stones is. I interviewed quite a few of his clients.
Yep. So I was with him for about 7 years, and he's the one that put all the size on me. So I, like I said, I was very, very thin when I very first competed in bikini. And then as I, year after year after year, just kept putting on more size, more size, more size, more size. I kind of got to where, I'm circling the runway. I'm pretty much where I need to be. And I just kind of felt like doing everything online with him, I needed some in-person, harder training that was very intentional, I guess would be a good word for it. So I actually train with Andrea sometimes. When I can nail her down. She travels like crazy, so she's really hard to get to, hang out with. But so I train with her, and then I train with John Simmons, her old coach. And they've definitely, between the two of them this past year, I really brought my waist in a lot. And I just sharpened up a lot. So I really, really like the training style. It's intense, but it's working. So
yeah. Now, who's this young lady with you?
That's my daughter, Claire. She's 13.
She's just as pretty as her mama.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's a compliment, ma'am. And she, you have, how many kids you have altogether?
We have 4.
Huh. Have they ever experienced interest in, training or competing, following mom's footsteps?
Actually, so my daughter, Claire, she's been working with Stephanie Jones. I don't know if you know her.
Yeah, I interviewed Stephanie. She's a fitness Olympian.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stephanie.
So she's worked with her probably about 3 times now, 4 times. And Stephanie choreographed a routine for her to Tina Turner, Proud Mary. And she's going to do an entertainment piece at John Simmons' show May 16th. So NPC, I don't know if you knew this. I didn't know this. John and I were talking about it, and we were just like, let's, I said, I want to register Claire for the teen division. She's a competitive gymnast, and she had been in dance since she was 2 years old. And she probably about 2 years ago switched out of dance and just exclusively does competitive gymnastics. And, so I was like, I'm going to register for her for the teen division, and she's going to do a fitness routine. Well, we start looking it up, and they raised the age to 18 for the teen division. So I was like, well, we already had kind of started, with the choreography and whatnot. So I was just like, well, we'll just, have her do like it'll be an entertainment piece, but like give her a chance to try it out on the stage, and just see how she does. So she said she was missing being in dance recitals. And so I was like, well, this is the next best thing. So showed her, what is it? Missy, how do you say her name? Yeah.
Mr. Trescott.
Showed her that routine that she did with the sword, that warrior one that she injured herself. Did you watch that?
I didn't watch that Olympia that year, but I did see.
I was there.
You were there?
I was there. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, because I remember I saw somebody, I think somebody sent me a clip to it. I said, George, I said, what is it? Missy Trescott. I said, what happened to her? She was broke. I said, what happened? And then they seen the clip. I said, ooh. I said,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, she came back the next year and she won
she
her
did.
third title. I mean, you got to give it up.
Yeah.
We got here some people here in the comment section. Shout out to my man Rolando G. He says, "Hey there, George. Good afternoon. It's great to see Melissa Freeman. You look fantastic. I'm a new fan." Well, there you go.
Excellent. Now I have two fans.
Also, he says, "Yes, it sounds like the organization in the sport is hating on the development of women, trying to be sculptured. I appreciate women competitors. They can't ban these divisions. That's true.
Yeah.
Also, he says this. He says, Miss Freeman, I would never do that to you. Yeah. And
Oh,
also, he says this. He says, Melissa, you look fantastic. Wow, very beautiful, sincerely, and you have a beautiful family. I
thank
appreciate
you.
that, brother. Like I said, Melissa. Hey, when I get a new girl on here, these guys be like, you ever saw the episode of Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy and Eddie meets Prince, and Prince and they has this guy named Nikki Free with him. And they think Nikki Free was a dude, but it was a woman, but it's actually a dude. But they say, Shalimar got a new girl. She's fine as a motherfucker. So anytime I get a girl on here, they would say, Joy got a new girl. She's fine as a motherfucker.
That's all right. That's all right. I'll take it. I'm 44, so hey.
That's not too bad. Like I said, there's a lot of ladies who's coming to sport later in life. I've interviewed ladies from oldest. I know one lady, her name is Miss Rebecca. She turned pro when she was 72 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's an
yeah.
accomplishment.
Yeah, he made her pro debut 73. She was competing for almost 30 years. I got a friend of mine, Eunice. Eunice is the one I always want to shout out because Eunice did this for me. Eunice runs her own company in Bad Rap. And that same year you were there at the Olympia was the same year where she got this for me. And that was when it was like a little bit right after my birthday. And she sent she emailed this to me. And this is where,
awesome.
and what makes this where I know I got somebody who knows her. You can verify this.
Yep, that's her. That's her signature.
Yeah. So you guys out there ain't say, George, he probably, hey, nah, that was real. That's for me. That's for me. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support from the champ. I think she's a lovely lady. And it's women like her that really give new life to bodybuilding overall, especially for women.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just an icon. She's such a proponent and advocate for the sport in general. She's awesome. She's so kind. Her mom is hilarious. I went down to, I think it was last year. I can't remember. Because I was with them all a couple times. I think it was last year at the women's posing seminar that they did in Orlando. And Sid Gillen, do you know her?
Yes, I know Sid, most definitely.
Yep, and her mom, and then Andrea and her mom and me were all in a car riding around in Orlando. And Sid's just crazy. It was just pure, just my stomach hurt from laughing so hard. They were just crazy, hilarious, funny. Their moms are hilarious. I remember we were leaving one of the hotels and they had like all these like ballast things, like, blocking off the ramp thing. And Sid's like, we're just jumping over them. And so you have all of us like trying to squeeze through, jump over these ballasts to get into a car because we didn't want to walk all the way around. And just wild, funny, crazy, awesome ladies.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. That it's good to have friendships and bonds with these women in this sport.
Yeah.
Connections is very important, especially you are sharing the stage together and you're competing, and and it's a lot, especially for women. There's a lot of stress to the sport. We get here comments. My man, shout out to my man, the Art of Female Muscle podcast, aka my man Jeremy says, you should take that picture of Andrea and frame it, George.
Absolutely. It's got, I see a spot on your wall right now that it can go.
I want it close to me. I want it to be close to me. I know. Don't let her know. I don't care. I love it. I want it. I just can't help it. Yes, I'm a as I often say like this. I know I'm a typical type of criminal. I can't help it. I have some tendencies of a some might say big on psychopath. I'm not psychotic. Maybe a psychopath, but not psychotic. But that's a part. Shout out to my man Jeremy. He asked you this question. He says, "What are your thoughts on the direction of figure? Should it go with the bigger look of Jessica Padilla or stay with the Sid Gillen look? What's your thoughts?"
I mean, that's a tough one right there. I kind of feel like they have a little bit different physiques. Um, and then my mind just instantly goes to Nicole Wilkins. That was kind of why I got into figure. And I mean, if you think of and know who Nicole Wilkins is and think of her physique, I mean, she would be bikini at best, anymore. And I mean, so again, that's just like another example of how the sport has evolved and grown. Um, Nicole Wilkins was what, 5 times Olympian, and then I think Sid kind of bumped up and took her spot. And it kind of changed a little bit again because I think Sid is definitely has a little bit more muscularity and just overall leanness to her. And then shifting into Jessica, I think she has a harder look to her a little bit. She definitely, she kind of almost borders that physique look a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, me personally, I think to keep figure with its specific set of expectations and what that looks like. It has criteria. And I think if they stick to the criteria that's stated, I think it aligns more with Sid's physique because they don't want those deep striations. They want that softer look. When you pop into physique, that's when they're looking more, the criteria is more those rigid, deep striations. I think that's really probably the determining factor between the two divisions. Physique, figure, they just really want like that balanced V taper look, soft, and not a ton of striations. So in my brain, that aligns more with Sid's figure than with Jessica's. I kind of think they're going in that direction, just kind of looking at her placings. And there's a couple new faces on the board there. I don't know if you've seen, I'm trying to think of her name.
Lena Weinsteiner or someone
Nope.
like
She's from the US. I think she's over from the West Coast. She's
not
blonde. Oh God, what is her name?
you'll remember what
Tessa.
Who?
Tessa Metz or Tessa Meets.
Oh, actually, Tessa Metz is from my area of.
Is she?
She's from South Carolina. She's from down.
Yeah.
She's from my neighbor next door. Tessa, yes, but I feel like she might be not that criteria. That's why I went with Rhea. And if I look at Tessa, has a lot more size. This is something I'm gonna pull up real quick.
Yep.
And
well, she qualified for Olympia next year. She came in first at what was the one down in Texas? I think it was Texas.
It was Florida. It was
Florida.
It was the
Hurricane Pro.
Hurricane Pro. And I did this one back, and if you look at this one, this picture I put up, this is Tessa from when she got her first qualification. That was in Charlotte right here in my North Carolina. This is Ann Gruber at the Triple O. And if you look at them, we'll look at, even though their sizes may be a little bit different, you would think Tessa's figure, or actually Tessa's physique, and you think Ann is women's bodybuilding, because
I can see that, yeah.
And the thing is that we go back to the judges because that's why Red won over between. Well, I think they're not a big fan of Lola because of what she does on the side. So she does as I call them, the Beat the Meat website. That's what it is. OnlyFans, and I know that Jessica did have a stint in women's physique a little bit, but it's just that the criteria for all the divisions need to be separate. If you don't want the women to have too much gyrations, then enforce that. If you don't want the girls to be too big in physique, then tell him either drop down size or go up to women's bodybuilding. We have
Right.
here some
Exactly.
comments here. Shout out to my guests. I appreciate them coming through. This is from my man, KL the Wonder. Shout out to him. He says, how long you been competing in figure?
Probably 3 or 4 years,
Uh,
5 years,
yeah, it's still
somewhere in there.
growing. It's still growing development. We got here one more from a man here. This is from my man. He says, this is from my man. He says, Andrea has to love you back. I don't care if she loves me back. Do I care? I love her. It shouldn't matter if she loves me back or not. I take what I can get. I take a pat on the shoulder. You know? Yeah, I know I'm sipping. You know, this is from my man. Shout out to my man here. It says that. Oh, shout out to the. Say okay. This is from he said. Shout out to the. To Jeremy. Also, we have here, and this is from my man here. Shout out to my man Jeremy. Says I remember when they said
Yeah.
that Nicole Wilkins was too muscular back then. She'd be blown away now. Yeah, because if you got to think about it, if you go back to how the vision started and how it's grown over the years, you look at people like Sid Gillen, you look at people like so many other women's in the divisions. People like one lady I follow, Wendell Fatino. I think she might not be that level anymore. If you look at how these women are getting bigger and larger. There's one girl, her name is Christina, and I forget where she's from. She's like in her 20s and her body's just crazy.
Yeah.
She could probably do physique because she's still young. Like a good example is like Paula Ranta, who was figure for a good while. Now she switched up. I actually got to meet her when I was in Tampa.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely this evolving organic thing. And it'll be interesting to see, in the next couple of years, how it shakes out. At my gym, I'm actually hosting my first posing clinic on the 31st. And so I've had 15 girls register for it. And I'm in Bay City, Michigan. And that's just, we're a pretty small town in mid-Michigan. And we just don't have a huge population. I think it's like, maybe 40, 50,000 people total. So it's just not a huge area. But I had 15 people register, which I was surprised that I even had that many. And guess how many figure I had?
How many?
0. And I'm figure, and it's my gym.
So let me guess, bikini and fit model, right?
So I have the list right here. I was pulling it up. So
Mm-hmm.
as of right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bikini out of 15. 1, 2, 3 fit model. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 physique. And then I have 1 unknown. She didn't tell me what she was doing. So
She might be doing wellness, maybe.
I actually didn't offer that one in this posing clinic because I didn't have anybody to teach it.
Oh.
And for one reason. And then the second thing is like, I just don't know anybody that does wellness personally in our area. So I just was like, and honestly, I didn't have one person message me and ask me about it. I did have one lady that asked me about it if I needed somebody to come, kind of help out with it. She would be interested, but I didn't have anybody that wanted it. So wellness and figure, I had nothing. It was all physique, fit model, and bikini.
Fit model. So excuse me, I gotta again, no offense to him, but that's my personal opinion. We have a shout to my man, Rolando. This is my man Rolando G says, yeah, I'm a fan of Nicole Wilkins. Yeah, her shape is fantastic. Melissa is right. She is the standard. But now Sid's a standard. Like,
Yeah.
is anybody like anybody else you really respect as a competitor outside of our girlfriend, Andrea? Who else you really admire as a competitor?
Who do I admire?
Yeah.
Gosh, I think we like covered so many great ones. It would be really hard to really think of too many other ones. I know another girl that I liked that disappeared into motherhood was, God, she won it 1 or 2 years Figure Olympia. Candace, what was her last name? I'm horrible with names, so that's not a good question for me.
That's all right.
Um, God, I can't think of her name. Um, there
You'll
was
probably remember it. You probably remember it down the road.
Latoya Watts was another good one that was there for a while. Um, there's kind of been a couple good runs, I think, from quite a few people, and I kind of focus on figure. There's a couple girls from Europe that are up and coming that I think look really, really, really good. The one girl, she kind of, her signature look is she always wears her hair up in a really high tail, the blonde.
Yeah, Denise.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. I
that's
think
what I
she
said.
looks great. I think she has a really good look to her. I don't know, but I mean, again, I really like Tessa. I think she looked like, she reminds me of like a bigger version of Nicole Wilkins. I think what did she place last year at, was she in the Olympia this year or the year before?
No, I think she didn't do the Olympia so last time she did Olympia was 2024.
Okay, and I believe she placed like 6th or something.
I'm trying to remember. I could see. I'm
I
trying to
know she was in
remember.
the top 10 for sure. And I believe she placed 6th. I mean, to be a rookie and just come out of the woodwork and boom, you're in the Olympia and then place even top 10 is crazy. So I think she falls right in that ballpark of that Nicole Wilkins, Sid Gillen, look. I'm kind of rooting for her myself. I don't know. I mean, there's just so many good ones out there.
Well, it's quite a few ladies in this. Like I think I pulled it up, and I think she did correct she took 9th place in 2024. That's pretty
Okay, I
good.
knew it was
Yeah,
top 10.
9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
Think about
crazy
it.
to, like I said, come out of pretty much nowhere and then place in the top 10 in the Olympia. And then I've just kind of followed her since then. And I mean, she looks fantastic. She's put on size. She looks great. And she just has a really healthy look. So I really like her look. Like I said, I like Denise from Germany. I think she looks really good. She's got a very unique, good look to her. And again, I'm just kind of focusing on figure because that's my passion in my division. Another matchup that I always do enjoy is your friend Andrea and Angela. I thought that was going to be a little bit more of a competition this year, and it turned out really not to be. In women's physique, the big matchup right now is what's her face, Sarah versus
Natalia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's been really interesting to watch. I honestly, I kind of thought this when I think between Andrea and Angela and then the Natalia and Sarah thing, I think that's something that the IFBB is kind of trying to encourage is that dynamic of, I think males do a really good job of that where they don't care. They're just like, I'm here to win, F you, and they can have that banter back and forth and they're not going to let off the gas for anybody. And women tend to be more, huggy and like cheering each other on. And they don't have that nemesis and that, like that attitude, I guess. So I think they're kind of trying to encourage that a little bit to, just liven things up and get some competition going.
Well, I remember when I watched Olympia, how Mr. Trescott called out Jessica Reyes-Padilla, saying about calling being at Olympia like being guest posing. Well, for her, that was just something for her mindset, was her mindset. But I think what other people feel like it's slap in the face. You've been the top three Olympian for the past umpteen years. And
Right.
then you say a comment, and people was talking about, oh, and funny thing about this, they had a press conference. Why didn't you invite Lola, who's been in the top three?
Right.
Understand that, but that's why I agree with you that they try to do that. They try to do the figure because I think they like to see more controversy. They like to see some kind of little WWE thing.
Yeah,
With someone like
exactly.
I know what people tell me that Andrea's very warm and heartwarming. Like this lady I got to meet when I was at Tampa, Ashley Jones, who was also a figure, went to physique, and she was told her, hey, come up to here to us, and she made that move. Now she's number 2 in the world.
Yeah.
Angela, it's going to take a while to bounce back because one of the other ladies who I saw there, Lavinia Barros, she's a very impressive young lady. She's not even her 30s yet. And it's about,
Okay.
she's still growing, processing. Each athlete brings something to the table that
Hmm.
really brings attention to it, be it their physiques, be it their personalities. As I said like this, the men always get the divisions, going to get the attention. And the thing is, here's the like this. All they got to do is put on a pair of Banana Hamilton boy shorts. You ladies, this is why I go back to the expense of being a competitor because, you have a responsibility, you have a job, you have a gym. And are you sponsored right now?
No, nope.
Yeah, and that's the thing that could help the cost of a competitor. Like I know
Right.
when Andrea posts, she's with Mutation. They
If
also
I get any down here below and there, anybody want to sponsor, they can pop up right now.
yeah, you send some links to it. But hey, guys, don't be that. Hey, yeah, guy, I got something to
Yeah.
sponsor you with, but not that kind of
No,
sponsorship.
I'm not into the whole OnlyFans thing and all that stuff. So, although I was in the grocery store one day and I had this guy come up to me and ask me if he could take a picture of my feet. And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "No, you cannot. That's weird." And yeah, so it's the world is weird.
Yeah. This is from a man, shout out to a man, Rolando G says this says, maybe you have a shot with Ashley. Well, she did shout me out on my channel. She is right after the shot my man Alex. He got a video with her. She shot me out. She really appreciates my support. I enjoyed that. Maybe I get an interview down the road. This is also from my man, you know, uh, shout out to my man Jeremy says, what did you think of Missy Trescott calling out Jessica Diaz concerning the editing of her photos at the Olympia press conference? Appreciate or not?
I don't know. I'm trying to. Who is the one guy that does that all the time? Goob.
Goob, yeah, Goob.
Because I think Jessica might have like he. I think he's the one that did it, wasn't he? Or he
Yeah,
might.
I think Google was after just about everybody. He's gone just
Yeah,
a few
like
Ivy
J
pros.
Lo even.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen not just Ivy pros, it's anybody trying to do that stuff because you
Yeah.
know what? You're trying to false narrative and thinking about
Right.
social media because you have children and they grew up in
Exactly.
social media age and they can be easily oppressed by what they see. Like AI is getting very popular. I don't even when I see somebody post something AI, I don't even comment on it because that's not
Exactly.
real.
'Cause
You
it's
know,
not real.
yeah, it's just something you just it's entertaining depending on how it's done with, but if you use
Right.
it as an image to
It
state
can be
something, it's not.
misleading.
Yeah, it's misleading. It's not really true, false issue. But going back to like I said, the cost of being competitive. Like you just did the universe. Why didn't you do like it was just maybe the Team Collegiate or maybe North Americans?
After that, why I chose not to do that.
Hmm.
So I had actually done Sid Gillen's show down in Atlanta, and that was like the last weekend in May. And then I went to Chattanooga and did I can't think, Junior Nats.
I think it's doing that. So is it
Yep.
Junior?
And
Yeah.
then I went into the universe. So it was just a lot, like very intense traveling. And just like, having to fly places and pack food. And um, Andrea was actually yelling at me about that the other day because I can't remember which. I don't remember which one it was, or it might have been both of them. I have no idea. I had made sweet potatoes and beef and chicken and all the things, and then I forgot